When was the last time that you went to a bookstore or the library and bought a book on how to fail?
Welcome to the Prosperity RX Podcast. This is Keith Abel with your prescription for prosperity. This is a podcast where I give you hope. I show you the path to build a life of health, wealth, and prosperity. To build a life that you don't need a vacation from. Folks, we've all messed up by believing some of the prevailing wellness and money myths in our culture. The turning point in your life, however, comes when you're willing to own up to it. To take your health and your finances into your own hands, to claw your way out of whatever's holding you back and never live in that lie again. Let me ask you, what good is your wealth if you have poor health? And what good is your health if you have no wealth? If you're willing to own up to it, to accept that you do have the power to change your circumstances, and that you're willing to do whatever it takes, then this podcast is for you. Humorist Josh Billings said, health is like money. We never have a true idea of its value until we lose it. You truly can change your life and start on the true path for good health, financial peace, and prosperity. So let's get on with the show.
Out doing my walk again. It's absolutely another gorgeous day here in the Parklands of Kentucky. And I just wanted to take a couple minutes and share some thoughts with you. Yesterday we talked about the five enemies of success. And one of the enemies, actually two of the enemies, was fear and failure. And today I want to talk about the fear of failure. You know, when was the last time that you went to a bookstore or the library and bought a book on how to fail? You know, we don't. We already know how to fail. You know, we got that part down pat. We don't need to learn how to fail. Robert F. Kennedy said, only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly. Is the fear of what could happen, is that what's causing nothing to happen in your life? What you're doing right now, is that dictating your future? Jack Canfield said, everything that you want is on the other side of fear. You've got to take a conscious action right now, in the present. And I know that's easier said than done. You know, like I said yesterday, I talked about the five enemies of success, and I think fear is the biggest and hardest to overcome. You know, I face it every day in my business. Rosa Parks said that I have learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear. Knowing what must be done does away with fear. And I can't agree with her more. The fear of what might happen, it causes stress in folks, you know, causes anxiety and anguish. We know we want to reach these big goals in our life, but our brain is hardwired to keep us safe, you know, to avoid pain, even emotional pain of fear. And fear doesn't exist anywhere except in the mind, according to Dale Carnegie. Instead of being that hamster stuck on the wheel going nowhere, you have to reclaim yourself. You have to build a mindset of success, accomplishment, a winning attitude. According to Sammy Davis Jr., you always have two choices, your commitment versus your fear. You've got to imagine yourself accomplishing a goal. You know, how does it feel when you accomplish that goal? Emotionally. You have to imagine with as many of your senses as possible what that experience is like. You've got to create a vision for life you really want, and then you've got to work relentlessly towards making it happen. That's according to Roy T. Bennett. The key to success is to focus our conscious minds on the things that we desire, not the things that we fear. And that's according to Brian Tracy. You have to do this exercise often throughout the day, you know, the visualization of what you want to accomplish. You've got to reinvent your internal map of where you want to go with your life. Your body's natural state is to be congruent with how you see yourself. And over time, nature's going to move you in that direction. According to Mark Gorman, not all dreamers are winners, but all winners are dreamers. Your dream is the key to your future. The Bible says that without a vision, a people perish. You need to dream if you're going to succeed at anything that you do. You've got to avoid people and places that go against where you want to be in life. You know, what you want to achieve, because again, your body's going to gravitate toward the things that you think about the most. Just want to end with a quote from Ayn Rand. I want to make sure I get this right. It's a little bit long of a quote, but this is from Ayn Rand in her book, The Fountainhead. Throughout the centuries, there were men who took first steps down new roads armed with nothing but their own vision. Their goals differed, but they all had this in common, that the step was first, the road was new, the vision unborrowed, and the response they received, hatred. The great creators, the thinkers, the artists, the scientists, the inventors, stood alone against the men of their time. Every great new thought was opposed. Every great new invention was denounced. The first motor was considered foolish. The airplane was considered impossible. The power loom was considered vicious. Anesthesia was considered sinful. But the men of unborrowed vision went ahead. They moved forward. They fought. They suffered. And they paid. But they won. What are you willing to pay to have your success? Some temporary pain? Some temporary fear? You've got to get past that fear. You've got to take that first step to achieve whatever it is, whether it's weight loss, whether it's success in business, whether it's relationship. You've got to get past the fear and take that first step. I'll see you guys again on a future podcast.
This has been the Prosperity RX podcast with pharmacist Keith Abel. Prosperity RX, your prescription for health, wellness, and prosperity. If you found value with this episode, please share and go to Apple iTunes, make a comment, and give us a 5-star rating. Also subscribe through iTunes or your favorite podcast platform. Prosperity RX can also be found on YouTube at youtube.com/Prosperity RX. Pharmacist Keith is also a business entrepreneur. He helps folks from all walks of life start and run their own home-based business. If you'd like Keith to help you create your own business, then visit aimhighforsuccess.com.